Hey guys, it's Frank Pelletier again for Group JPSMZ in Music 101. This is the third CVL I'll be doing, and this is mainly being recorded because I didn't realize that I was the last one in my group for that was supposed to make a CVL, so I am now posing the prompt for this week and responding to said prompt as well for this week. And while I was looking through our potential 10 topics that we could do for our CVL, there was one that said, who has the biggest music or influence on your music education throughout life? So I'm kind of going to modify that, do that as well, and add who had the biggest influence on the selection of the type of music you listen to in your life. And for the first one, for my music education, it was probably I'll go with my middle school band teacher, Mr. Rash. He was also very into percussion, and that really helped get me furthered into it, like really getting into it and caring more about it, not just basic snare drum things, but we had pretty good percussion setup, timpani, trap set, crash cymbals, all the auxiliary things, as well as 2 sets of bells and a mariamba, which were really fun to play, and it was good to like learn all the scales on that because that would also help with piano and pieces like that. But then I'm going to move on to the other part of the question I posed, and that would be who played the biggest role on choosing the music throughout your life. And I'm going to relate this back to last week's response question. I watched Greg Wilson's interview, and he said that his family really played a big part in who he listened to at first, and I couldn't agree with that anymore. The first thing that I can think of is just riding around in the car with my dad, and we'd be listening to old stuff, old music. He's really into the 60s music and 70s and stuff like that, so listen to a lot of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, some older stuff, Bob Dylan, Buddy Holly, and then that kind of progressed as I hung around with my older brothers more. They were born in the 80s, so music through then, just things like Heart, and then moving on to the 90s when they got older, Pearl Jam and Metallica, a lot of that, and then also country sort of started to come in when I started listening to more music with my mom, like older Kenny Chesney, Toby Keith, Alan Jackson, George Strait, all of those, and my brother, who's my age, is pretty much the same way with music. We got a lot of it from our parents, what we listened to. That also kind of evolved as we went on in school and got older and heard what our friends listened to. And, well, I went to a pretty rural high school, so it was a lot of country music. And, I don't know, just stayed around the country, rock side. You listen to some hip-hop here and there, whatever's on the radio when you're hanging out with your friends and all. But, yeah, that's it for this week. And so my question, it's in 2 parts, is number 1, who played the biggest influence on your education in music? And part 2 is who played the biggest influence on your tastes in music? Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.